Hello honeybees, hello my book besties, welcome back to my channel. Happy Bookmas Day 8. I'm super excited for today's video because we are going to be talking about my top 25 books of 2025. This is super exciting because this year it's a little bit different for me because I had a goal of 40 books. I read 45 and this is just 25 of the ones that I really liked this year. Also this year I was a little bit more stingy with my 5 stars. So I don't have as many 5 stars as I usually do, but this time around we are going to be a little bit different because this time I'm going to go from 25 to 1, and it's gonna be the ones that I have from like 4-star, 4.5, 4.75, and then up to our 5-star. That's what it's gonna look like today. I'm excited for it. We're gonna see what happens. Yeah, are y'all excited to see what my #1 book is this year? You should be. Anyways, let's just go ahead and hop right into it because I have 25 books here and we're gonna be doing a lot of yapping. So the first book I have on here is Between Friends and Lovers by Charlene Obobi. This is a 4-star read for me. I didn't like this as much as I thought I was going to, but it was still a pretty decent book, and hey, it made it to this list. So I love the storyline. I love the thought process behind it. I like the main character Josephine. She was a very lovable character. I loved how strong-willed she was, how independent she was as a black woman, and she was just starting out trying to figure out her life, and I really loved that for her. I also love that she found love, and that was just a beautiful storyline. I thought it was just amazing, and for me as a black young woman, I think that was just a story that touched my heart. I also really related to her story with her mother and just being taken in by another family or other parts of her family. I just felt like that was really sweet. Altogether, I thought this was a great story. I really loved Malcolm in this series. I loved him. He was amazing. He was so sweet. He was so kind-hearted. Like, he really was the epitome of if he wanted to, he would, because he definitely did. And I love that for her. So I definitely highly recommend this book. Number 24 on the list, we have A Curse for True Love by Stephanie Garber. This is the 3rd book in the Once Upon a Broken Heart series. This one is 24 because I did not enjoy this as much as I loved the first book. Now, I thought this was an amazing trio as a whole. I love the whole trilogy. I love Evangeline and her optimistic thinking. She just is such an optimistic character, and she just wants to find love, and she's just like such a romantic at the end of the day, and I love that for her. And I enjoyed the story up until this book because it felt like a repeat of the first book, and I didn't like that so much, but I would still recommend it because the whole trilogy is amazing, and I thought it was cute, and I thought it was lovable, I thought it was magical. This ended up being the one that I was like, I disagree. Why did we start over? But I do love the little parts that we got at the end. I did like some of the parts, but most of it was a repeat of book 1, and that's what made me dislike this the most out of the trilogy, but I would still recommend at the end of the day. Number 23, we got One of Us is Lying by Karen M. McManus. Now, I really did enjoy this trilogy as a whole, but I think this whole story was not like the best thing ever, but it was still pretty enjoyable. I love the mysterious aspects of it. I do like the anticipation until the end. The end really shocked me because I was like, girl, what did you just say? I was like, this cannot be real. Like, I was shocked by the ending. I think the first book was the best out of all 3. It's always something about a trilogy where there's only one book that is the best out of all 3 of them, and the first one is usually it. Thinking back to it now, I'm like, wow, you mean to tell me that throughout this whole book we had suspects there, and there, and then the person that it actually is that did this whole thing, you're like, what? Like, you have to have some twisted thinking to do something like that. And I was like, wow, this is really crazy. But like I said, this was a really good trilogy as a whole. It's quick pace, it's gripping, and like you want to know what's happening at the end. Like, and that really tore me up. I was like, next up on here, another book I don't own personally, but we have Beg, Borrow, Steal by Sarah Adams. I loved this book. I love this whole series, guys. I cannot wait for the last book to read that, but I just have to get my hands on it sooner or later, okay? But this one is really good. I really enjoyed this sister because she was relatable. She's the oldest sister in this one, and I just really felt her heart. Like, I felt where she was at. I've already like kind of explained this before, but really loved her, and I just felt all of Emily's pain. I was like, girl, me too. I feel you. I understand. But I felt her with my whole soul, honestly. So I really connected to her. And then there was Jack. I just loved how he was. He was kind of like the nerdy character, but at the end of the day, he wasn't really that nerdy. I was like, okay, anyways, yeah, love the romance, love the storyline, love the plot. I thought this was a good one, and it wasn't as good as the first one, but I do really love this storyline, and I just was like, yes, I was eating it up, guys. I finished this book in like a day. I was serious about it, okay? It was still really good. I like the enemies kind of thing. I love the academic rivals vibes, and then having to like help her out at the end of it. It was really funny. And there was a lot of parts in there there that I was just like feeling it. So I definitely recommend this series. Like, I recommend this whole thing. I recommend the whole series. Read it, please. It's so good. It's so good. Taking the spot for 21, we have The Ballad of Never After by Stephanie Garber. This is the second book in the Once Upon a Broken Heart series, and I like this one a lot. I just was not expecting the twist at the end, which led me to not really like the third book as much. So I think that's where it kind of trickled down to, and I thought this was still really good. Like, I was eating it up, especially in the first half. The second half is where I was like, girl, what are you talking about right now? Like, is this really happening? But yes, I definitely still enjoyed it. I still love the storyline. Again, Evangeline is such a great character. You get to learn a little bit more about Jax in this one, which I really enjoyed because Jax is really that guy. I'm not gonna lie, I love him so much. He's like my favorite kind of villain, but he's also not a villain, you know what I'm saying? Like, I love him, and so I really enjoyed this one because of Jax the most. More in the first book, I liked Evangeline. This one, I was more of a Jax girly, and in the third one, I was like, okay, I'm rooting for you too, but like also like, what the heck is happening? So this one was like that part where I was like, yes, Jax, yes, Jax. Okay, so I love this one because of that. All right, number 20, we have Onyx Storm by Rebecca Yarros. Now, this might be a shock to many of you, or it may not be. If you see my last video, you already know. You already know. But this is definitely one where I was like, dang, I wish there was more. It's definitely a filler book. I was kind of disappointed by this book because I felt like Study Abroad with Dragons. I will say it again and again and again. I still love the storyline. I still love the plot. I still love the characters. I love the development. I love all of that. But I was still very disappointed by this one. And I was just expecting so much more. But the ending, guys, you couldn't have prepared me for that. You couldn't have prepared me for what was happening. I was in literal shock. I'm still processing that. Like, I think I kind of blocked it out a little bit of my brain because I need to make room for other books, but this is still one of those books where I'm like, why did that happen? It's definitely a filler book, but it's definitely a good one. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was still disappointed altogether, but as a whole, I understand it now. I get it. Because in the fourth book, y'all know what Rebecca Yarros said, right? She said, get ready for Xaden to be the villain. Girl, don't say that to me. I'm just like, I wasn't even prepared for what had happened. Yeah, and I just gotta say, I gotta know. I need to know what Imogen knows. I need to know what's going on. I need to know what's happening. Somebody knows something and nobody's telling me, and I'm ready to be told everything that's happening, okay? Yeah, I digress. Oh, that book gets me excited every single time. Number 19, we have Story of My Life by Lucy Score. I rated this a 4-star. This is the last one in the 4 stars, and guys, this was good. This was fun. This is the first book in the Story Lake series, so I cannot wait for the second one. Let me just say that. But this was still really fun. It was really hilarious. I was literally cackling throughout the whole book. Like, it was really that funny. So it's a rom-com, romance, small town. I love the found family. I love the beef she has with some of the elders in the town. Like, the elders have beef with her. She has beef with the eagle. Now, I know that sounds crazy, and I thought that was really funny because the eagle seems to have beef with her. Like, she just entered the town and already, like, everything's against her, lol. But that was really funny. And I love the Grumpy X Sunshine vibes. I love that she's a writer, so she's just like kind of in her little hole, and he's like really grumpy, angry all the time. Of course he is. Cam is literally my favorite. I love him so much, but I think I'm gonna love Another Brother way more, so stay tuned for that. But I'm excited. This was really fun. This was a fun, enjoyable read. It was way quicker than I thought. Like, I was reading through this really fast. I was reading on my Kindle, but usually when it comes to like 500-page books, because y'all know her books are thick every single time, but I was not expecting to get through this as fast as I did. It was really gripping. I had fun watching this. It was adventurous, and it was just an interesting storyline. I loved the found family. I loved all of it. Everything about this book was so much fun, and it was hilarious, so of course it had to make it on this 25 list. Now, next up on here, again, a book I don't own but will be getting soon. Number 18, we have Just for the Summer by Abby Jimenez. This one broke my heart into two. I'm gonna just say that right now. One thing about Abby Jimenez books is that she's just gonna make me cry, like, and I'm just gonna cry my eyes out every single time because she just does me like that. And honestly, this was a good story. I enjoyed this storyline. I love the plot. I love everything about this. Let me just tell y'all, I felt my homegirl through and through. I felt her in my soul. Emma really had me crying because I felt her whole heart through and through. Like, she's such a caring and sweet character. She's so loving. She just chooses empathy over everything. That's literally one of her lines, but she's just so sweet, and I just love that for her. And even though she had a really bad past and things happening with her mother, she really strove through it and, you know, decided to be that one person that chooses love over everything. Her trauma definitely did affect her life because she chose different paths because she didn't want to be, you know, there's a storyline to it. I can't say too much because I don't want to ruin it for you, but definitely that. And then we have Justin. Oh, I love Justin. He's so type A. He's amazing. He's sweet. He's handsome and he's funny. Like, can we get a round of applause for Justin? I love Justin. He's definitely top boyfriend of the year. I'm just gonna say that right now. If I had a boyfriend like him, it would be life would be great, okay? Because we love Justin. All right. I honestly just love this one a lot. I don't know how this one didn't make it all the way to the top, but I still really enjoyed this one. It's top tier. It's up there. It's up there with the rest of them. I'm just gonna say. Number 17, we have Every Summer After by Carly Fortune. This is my first book by her. I've never read anything by her, but I will continue to read her, okay? Because we love this one. This was a second chance romance, and it's on this like beach town, and I really love that. I love the way she wrote about these scenes. It just felt so scenic. I just love the way that she wrote about it. It made me feel like I was in the place with them, you know? I just love that. This is about Percy and Sam. They're childhood friends, and then like they hadn't seen each other for so long, and then they come together after an unfortunate circumstance, and I thought that was really sweet. I love that they got to talk through what had happened before and everything like that. I will say one thing though. If I was Sam, I could never forgive her. I would never be able to forgive her for that. I'm not gonna lie, cause brother, oh no, see, because let me just tell you something. That was unforgivable right there. I don't know how he was able to forgive her. Maybe because they were young and dumb and there was a lot going on at the time, but also I don't know if I could have been like, okay, I'll just let that slide. And then mind you, he knew. Like, I don't know. I don't know about that. I could never forgive her for that, honestly. But you know, they moved past it. I will say there was one other thing in here that I was like, that's why it is where it is, but it could have been a 5-star had there not been those two aspects. One, I couldn't forgive Percy for what she did, and number two, I couldn't do with the scene that happened at the end. It just didn't make sense. I was like, guys, we should have thrown that in there. We should have just left that out of the scene. It could have been anything else. It didn't have to be that, you know? So if you read this book and you know the tea, you know the tea. You know. These next two I will do together because they are a part of a series. So number 16 is Heartless by Elsie Silver, and then I have Flawless by Elsie Silver. Love both of these. I was not expecting to be a lover of cowboys this year, but I indeed am after these two books. I cannot wait to read the rest of the series. I read this in my 24-hour reading blog. Y'all see all that one. If you haven't, go check it out. It was really fun. And then I had read this one in December, so earlier this month I finished it, and y'all have not got a review on this, but I will tell you I love this story. I rated this a 4.75. Really good. I love this one. Both of these were great. I'm just gonna say that right now. I cannot wait for the rest of the series. I can't tell who my favorite brother is gonna be just yet, or even the favorite friend, because one of these books in the series is about the best friend, I think, or two of the best friends in the series, so I'm not really sure if it's about all the brothers, but I already know my heart about this one. I got taught about myself through this book. Love Summer, love the storyline. However, there was one part in here where Rhett really pissed me off because he shared something that really wasn't his business to share, but he did it anyway, and I was like, that's the only thing about this one that didn't make this a 5-star. So y'all already know. If you read it, you know. I will say Summer's Past was really heartbreaking, and I was just feeling for her the whole time, and I was like, that really sucks, but I do love her story, and definitely a people pleaser through and through, and I learned that about myself this summer, and I didn't like that, and it sent me down a downward spiral, so that was great. And then we have Heartless. This was really nice. I really love this story. I love how Cade's trying to be a good father. He's doing his best because he's single, of course, so he's doing the best he can with what he has. And then Summer introduces Willa to him, but actually he already met Willa, and it was a really funny situation. Actually, Willa's definitely the wild child of her family because she's just all over the place, and I love the relationship she has with Luke and them building with each other. I thought that was so sweet, and he just really loves her, and I thought that was so cute. But yeah, Cade's supposed to be Willa's biggest hater at the beginning, but then he's not her biggest hater anymore at some point. But was he ever really her biggest hater? I guess you'll never know until you read it. So yeah. But I love both of these. I really am enjoying this series so far. I cannot wait to read the rest of them. So yeah, stay tuned for reviews on that. But if you have not started the Chestnut Spring series, you need to get on it. At number 14, we have The Housemaid's Secret by Frieda McFadden. I started this series earlier this year. I just finished this in November, and y'all have not got a review on this one, but I will say I really love this. I enjoyed the heck out of this series so far. There's one more book, and I will read that eventually. It'll probably be next year, so you'll get my full review on this whole series soon. I will say this wasn't my favorite, but it was still really good. It gripped me until the end. I was really shocked by the plot twist at the end. I will say Frieda does know how to throw in a good twist. I was like, what? I was not expecting that. Those last 50 pages, maybe 25, I was like, whoa, what is about to happen? I'm confused. This is just the continuation of Millie and just what has happened after the situation in the first book. And then we get one of the characters back, and then I truly was not expecting the things that were happening in this book. You could have fooled me. Well, she did fool me throughout the whole first of this book, because I really thought homegirl was, I can't say too much because that's literally part of all of the surprise factor, but I will say I was not expecting half of the things that happened in this book. Number 13, we have Deja Vu by Celestine Martin. Now this was really good, guys. I love this one. I wish I finished annotating it, because at some point I started just listening to it or reading it on my Kindle, so I have the annotations on my Kindle and in the book. But this was just such a magical book. I remember just sitting there thinking as I was reading, I think in one chapter I was just like feeling the magic. I don't know. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is just so much fun. It was a lovely story, and I thought it was magical through and through. I was not expecting them to be witches and magicians. Like, I was like, what? And there was goblins and all of this stuff in this small town. It was just really fun. And it was an interesting storyline. Like, it was something I've never read before. I feel like I've read things about like magic and all of that, but like this one had like witches. Like, she was a witch, he was a magician, and then like there was goblins and stuff, and it was just really funny. I don't know, it was really interesting. It kind of reminded me of Halloween Town a lot. This is set literally in October, and she's like, it's a Groundhog Day kind of thing, but it only happens once for her. It doesn't happen multiple times, which is a good thing, because when the Groundhog effect is done, it's kind of repetitive, and I don't like that. I don't like repetitive things. I needed to just keep going, and I love how it only happened one time, so she repeats the whole month, and it's really interesting to see how everything goes. But love the love story, love their insatiable love for each other. Like, you could feel the love off of the pages. Like, I was reading, I was like, oh my boy, like, chill, brother. Love Gus. Like, can we get a boyfriend award for Gus too? He's like second to Justin. After Justin, I would choose Gus for sure, because he's also kind of type A, and I don't know, I just really love the storyline and everything about this. It was really cutesy. It was a different dynamic that I wasn't expecting, and so I definitely do recommend this one. This one I will hold near and dear to my heart, and probably will read it again another October. Reading in at number 12, we got Promise Me Sunshine by Cara Stone. Again, this is my first time reading this author. I read a lot of new authors that are really popular this year, only because I really hate when books are really popular. I don't read them at that time. This was a new release though, so this was a little bit different. I really enjoyed this one. It was really sweet. I felt this one to my core. Like, grief is really tough to get through, and this book depicted that perfectly. I think the way Cara Stone was able to integrate the feeling of grief and how you go through your days losing somebody and then having to get back up and live again, I thought that was really sweet. Miles enters the picture, and he's kind of already experienced some type of grief. He had to deal with that on his own. He gets Lenny through that, and I thought that was really sweet. The both of them helping each other in this different way, and I love that though Lenny felt herself being helpless, Miles was able to bring that out of her to make her feel like she was able to do something, and I thought that was really sweet. The storyline was great. I love how throughout most of the book they were like friends, and the romance kind of happened subtly. It wasn't like a quick romance, it wasn't anything like that, and it was purely just a woman's fiction with like a little bit of romance in it, and I thought that was so sweet, and the way that she did that was perfect. So I cannot wait to read the rest of her books and see like more of that woman's fiction kind of genre, but the little hints of romance, because that was really perfect. And I've never read a romance like this, so I just feel like this was new for me, and I genuinely did enjoy this one, so I definitely recommend it. If you have not read this, please do. I loved it. Number 11, I have Picking Daisies on Sundays by Liana Cincotti. This is a really lovely book. Guys, I was literally swooning over this book. I love this one. I don't know if y'all did get a video with me reading this one. It was a reading vlog earlier on in the year, and I have so many highlights in this one. I love this book. There was just so many sweet moments, and I literally could not stop kicking my feet while I was reading this and smiling and giggling. This was just so good. I loved every aspect of this. I wish I could go back. I would probably read this again. This would probably be a reread because it was just so cute. It was so quick paced. It was so swoony. The romance was romancing. I don't know. This was like a second chance romance, friends to lovers kind of ish vibes. So it was really fun to read this. Both of them are college students, which was really interesting. So this really did hit for my timeline for sure. Daniela is a fashion designer student, and then Levi is doing a TA job at his school. So I thought that was really sweet. Their schools are actually not that far apart from each other, if I'm not mistaken, and this is set in New York. works. So definitely a perfect backdrop, perfect storyline. And apparently Levi is an author, and I thought that was really sweet. So you get little parts of him throughout every part of the storyline, and I thought that was so sweet. So technically we don't get his POV, we only get Daniela's POV, but you still get a part of Levi in every part of the story, and I love that part about this. So I was like, oh, I love this book. Oh, this is so sweet. And number 10 we have When in Rome. I rated this a 4.75. And then we have Practice Makes Perfect. I rated this a 5 stars, so that's the first of the 5 stars. I love both of these, but Practice Make Perfect was my favorite. I remember swooning over every moment in this one. I remember just loving the story, loving the main characters. It was just so sweet. First, let's talk about When in Rome. I really love this one. I devoured this book up. Like, I literally ate this book up in a day. Again, I read all of this series. All of the books I read in like a day. It was really serious. I was on a rampant for these ones. Anyways, I love Noah and Amelia's chemistry. So first of all, Noah is very grumpy because what am I without reading a grumpy ex Sunshine? Also, the storyline of this was very different. I love that she was like a singer and she kind of tries to run away and ends up getting herself in this big farce of like getting lost in the middle of the road. Of course, you know, we love that. We love that for her. Anyways, I just love the vibes between them. Noah definitely gave off a lot of Luke vibes. He was very grumpy, but he only accepted everything that Amelia did. So I really love that about them. And Amelia was just so uppity. She had a lot of thoughts. She had a lot of personality, and I really love that about her. So I thought this was a really fun story. She ends up staying in his place, so I just thought this was really fun. And then for Practice Makes Perfect, my favorite out of the series, I will say that so far. I thought this was really good. Annie is the youngest sister out of this, so it's all of the siblings, and we love Annie. She's so sweet. And also she has this other side of her that you don't get to see in the other books, of course, because she is the youngest. She's kind of overshadowed by her older siblings. So I thought this was really sweet because she's like the town sweetheart. She kind of reminds me of Rory. So like everybody's like, oh, I don't want you to be with like the bad guy, which is the bodyguard of Amelia. But anyways, this story was really fun. And I don't know, this whole series kind of reminds me of Gilmore Girls, but like different aspects of it. So Noah definitely gave off Luke vibes, and then over here we had her giving off more of Rory vibes. She's like the town sweetheart. Everybody loves her, and she has this like really sweet side to her, but she also has another side to her that nobody else gets to really see because she kind of has to hide it away. And so the storyline of both of these were really great, and they were very different from any other books I've seen, and so I enjoyed all of these. All of these last books are definitely my 5-star reads of the year. I am so excited to get into all of these because I could yap about them forever, but I will try my best not to. And number 8 we have Once Upon a Broken Heart by Stephanie Garber. Like I said for the first two, there's always something about the trilogy that there's always one book that is better than the rest of them, and the first book was definitely that. I love Evangeline in this book. I love how much of a hopeless romantic she is, and just how much magic is in this story. It's so sweet, and the details in this book were just so like, wow. I really felt like I was in a magic world. I felt like I was entering another place. It was really beautiful, and I thought that was really fun, and every aspect about this book was really good. I really love that Evangeline had this like adventurous kind of heart. There's definitely a lot of adventure in here, so I really love that. And then she's finding out more things about herself and her family that she didn't know before. And then of course Jax, we love Jax. So this was really fun. This was a really fun trilogy, but this was the book that just like made it up there, and I really enjoyed it. I'm glad I got into romanticy with this book, so that's why it's like up there in those top 10. At number 7 I have By the Book by Jasmine Gillory. She a little bent though, okay? She's been loved, but I remember loving this book. I remember just swooning about every single moment that they had together. Again, grumpy ex Sunshine kind of vibes, and she's portrayed as Belle. So this is a whole series by different authors. I think Christina Lauren is also in the lineup, so this is just a full-on series, but it can be read as a standalone. This one is just so good, and she portrays Belle, like I said, and he's like the beast because he's very grumpy. He's kind of holed up in his house. He's also trying to get himself to write a book, but he won't really do it. So then my girl Belle is sent to do so making sure that he actually writes the book. And so she kind of moves into his house, forced proximity. I thought that was really sweet, and just everything about this was really good. I don't know, it had me by my nails as I was going through the book. It was just so sweet. I was swooning throughout this whole book. It was the perfect balance of like magic. It was the perfect balance of romance and just grumpy ex Sunshine vibes. I loved everything about this book. Very basic, but I love that she was portrayed as Belle. She loves reading, she loves writing as well, and then we have her trying to help this guy do that, and he's like kind of trying to push her away, but he's also very tender-hearted as well, and I thought that was really sweet. Also, there was an aspect in here I was like, oh my god, they're healing. I love this. This was good. I could talk about it all day, but I'm gonna try my best not to, like I said. So we're gonna move on. Number 6, we have The Housemaid by Frieda McFadden. I just told you I started this series earlier this year. This one, I cannot wait to watch the movie. First and foremost, can we talk about the movie that's coming out? Millie definitely is not the character you expect her to be. I was not expecting her to be who she is, and I was like, wow. Like, you're questioning the whole time why she is what she is, and you're like, oh, okay, what happened that made her like a villain, you know? Like, why was she locked up? Why couldn't she get a job? Like, what's going on? And you're just questioning that throughout the whole time, and then you just find out some things about the Winchesters that you do not expect throughout the whole thing. I was shocked. We was shocked. I don't know. It was crazy. I can't say too much. Again, something about thrillers and mysteries you can't say too much about because it will ruin it if I say anything, because low-key you just have to go into these books kind of expecting a surprise factor, and this is one of those books. I was gripped throughout the whole thing. I was anticipating every page. I couldn't stop flipping. It was so good. This is very quick paced. Something about Frieda McFadden books, you could just get through them in a day. Like, they're like that, and this was really fun. I'm reading more of her books. I cannot wait to read the rest of her backlist and just see what else she has. Coming in at number 5, are we even shocked? Welcome to the Hyunam-dong bookshop by Book-Shop. Now this, I've already told y'all how much I love this one. It just feels like a big hug to normal people and just the mundane life of living. Like, honestly, this was just done so well. You got the aspects, the ins and out of like running a bookstore, so we get to know about that. We also get to learn about the neighborhood, the people in it. You get to know a little bit about their stories. I like how this was told in third person, so you get to experience everyone in a little bit of different ways, and I love that. There was so many aspects. There were so many relationships, dynamics that were talked about in this book, and it was just so sweet, and I could not have asked for more. It was definitely a cozier read, definitely something I would read again if I'm looking for something that's just a palate cleanser. It's general fiction, but it's so much more than that, and I loved every single moment of this. So many quotes in here too that I loved, and I would definitely recommend this to anybody who's looking for just a warm hug of life. And number 4, I have Say You'll Remember Me by Abby Jimenez. Now, Abby Jimenez making it on this list twice just says something about her writing for me. I, again, cry my eyes out to this one too. I think y'all saw this again in my 24-hour reading challenge. So this, you saw my pure reaction every single moment at this one. This was really sad. I was like, wow. So the main character's mother has Alzheimer's, and so she's dealing with that, and the family's dealing with that. And then we have Xavier, who's a vet, and I just think their storylines were so different, but it just combined together so perfectly. Basically, they have this one night together that they're on this date, and that like it's like a 24-hour date at this point, and then she has to like leave the next day, and they're kind of working out their relationship from there. And I thought that was just amazing at how much they wanted to strive for one another, to fight for the relationship, and also dealing with the things that they have going on. I just thought this was such a sweet story. Again, Abby Jimenez does the perfect amount of romance with like life stories and things going on. Every single time she writes something, I'm just like appalled at how great she does it. I don't know how much research she does on every single book, but she does amazing. So I cannot wait for the next book in this series, actually, that's coming out next year. So this was really great. I really love this story. Definitely tears were shed, but every single moment just felt perfect. It felt right, and it was coming in at number 3, the book I cannot stop talking about, and y'all have heard me talk about in many videos. We have Days at the Morisaki Bookshop by Satoshi Yagisawa. I'm not gonna say too much. I'm just gonna say quotes amazing. I love this story. I don't know. I have so much love for this book, and it's so short. Like, basically there's like less than 200 pages, guys. This is I'm gonna start crying because like it was so good. There were so many sweet moments. There were so many moments that were just like, wow, I really felt that in my soul. This is about Takoko, and she basically moves in with her uncle at his bookshop, and a different dynamic, of course. I never read a book about like an uncle and a niece and just like that kind of storyline. I felt like this was very different, for one. For two, it just had a lot of hitting lines, and so of course Takoko is trying to figure out her life, trying to figure out what she's gonna do next after losing her job, losing her boyfriend that she was supposed to get married to. He telling her that he's gonna marry someone else. First of all, that was a crazy start. But yeah, this was a beautiful story. I don't know, it was so short but so sweet, and you also get to learn a little bit about different people in the town as well. Again, small town, a lot of things happening in this little small town, but it was so sweet. They have so much care for each other and all of the people in it, and I just, need I say more? Just read it. Now, don't be shocked when you see these books, okay? So number 2, I'm gonna bring them up now. Number 2, we have Iron Flame by Rebecca Yarros, and number 1, reigning champ of the year, Fourth Wing by Rebecca Yarros. Need I say more? Y'all have heard me talk about this series a lot this year. I cannot express how much I love this series. I'm not going to say too much because I'm going to keep talking about it and I will have a whole 50-minute rant session about this, but love the storyline, love the characters, love the dynamic of the world. The world building is so pretty much easy to understand, and it's just like, it's an unimaginable situation with all of these characters and all of these things happening. I couldn't believe it. It's a beautiful story. I'm just gonna say that. I'm gonna leave it there. It's a beautiful story. If you have not read this series, get into it. Cannot wait for the 4th book to come out. I loved every single moment here in this world, and I cannot wait to start over and read it all over again when all the books are out and just love on this series, because this is my Hunger Games. I have never read the Hunger Games, so don't quote me on that, but this is my Hunger Games. This is my love life right here. I love this story. I love every single moment in it. I love all of the characters, love the dynamics, love the relationships. Xaden, Verson, we love Xaden. Okay, I'm crashing out. But anyways, the winner of this year is Fourth Wing, and the whole series is honestly God tier to me, like on the list of books. So we love this story. Anyways, you guys, those were my top 25 books of 2025. I hope you enjoyed this video. It was a big yap session, so I hope you enjoyed it. If you made it all the way to the end of today's video, comment down below the like smiley face emoji. I don't know. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you can get notified every time I post a new bookish video, and stay tuned for more Bookmas content. If you are not caught up on the videos, there is a playlist link down below for you guys to watch it in order, so that way you never actually miss a day, you know? And if you've been keeping up with Bookmas, thank you so much. I love you guys so much. I'm just so thankful because, guys, this is really hard to do. I'm not gonna lie, posting, editing, and every day, it's a lot. So it's really fun to do, but it definitely takes a lot of work and a lot more planning than expected. I'm glad you guys are here and I love y'all. But anyways, please don't forget to be true and be you and read whatever you want to. I will see you guys in my next Bookmas video. Bye!